Happy Halloween, everybody. Back by popular demand, a couple of years ago, I put together a little video sharing scary, spooky, or otherworldly stories regarding the royal family. And I ended it on a very interesting note with Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. And a couple of you have asked me throughout the year if I'm ever going to reshare that video because it is no longer available. Well, I thought it would be great since it's been requested so often to share it today. So, today we will be sharing an old but a good video regarding scary, spooky, and otherworldly stories from the royal family. If you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. And let's get started. Ooh.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand, and whosoever shall be found without the soul for getting down.
The royal family is an old and ancient institution. They own several mansions, estates, palaces, and even tombs, and many of them live in some as well. So it's no surprise that in addition to being royalty, they're known worldwide for also being haunted. And today, we're going to share some of those stories. Happy Halloween, everyone. I hope your day is off to a fun and ghoulish start. Sorry, I can't do that without actually laughing. So today, I thought in the spirit of Halloween, I would share a few spooky royal stories. Now, if you are itching for Harry and Meghan's specific Halloween content, no fret, my pet. At the end of this video, I have linked last year's video that talks about all of their Halloween shenanigans and even part of their love story. So today, for 2024, I thought it would be fun to share spooky stories about the British royal family. Before we get into it, if you haven't already, feel free to go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and please don't forget to share so more people can find us. The title of this article is The Haunting of Elizabeth II and Other Spooky Royal Ghost Stories. With royal figures occupying so much space in history and culture, it makes sense that many monarchs have felt haunted in the ancient palaces and castles they inhabit. This article was written by Hadley Hall Mears for Vanity Fair. Every year on May 19th at Blickling Hall in Norfolk, England, the former home of the Boleyn family, a terrifying spectre supposedly appears. A coach gallops down the road, guided by a headless driver. The horses, luckily, have heads. Inside the carriage, glowing red, a young woman sits, holding her bleeding head in her lap. A cool blue light follows the carriage, which is sometimes seen dragging behind it a headless male corpse and a band of screaming devils. This is one incredibly terrifying caravan, but let's continue. This is said to be the ghostly carriage of Anne Boleyn, murdered by her husband, King Henry VIII, on this day in 1536. The headless corpse, her brother George, who was also executed by Henry VIII. The tragic Anne of 1,000 Days, a reference to the length of her reign as the Queen of England before she was beheaded by King Henry, is unsurprisingly the holy grail of English royal ghosts, as her spirit has allegedly been spotted all over England. I'm going to pause there. Have you ever seen any of this? If you have, let me know in the comment section below, or if you know someone who claims to have seen this, let me know. According to the investigatory book Most Haunted Castles, she also appears at Hever Castle, another former Boleyn property, where she has been seen in a window beating and scratching her fists against it. With royal figures occupying so much space in history and culture, their lives public, their deaths infamous, it makes sense that many monarchs have felt haunted by the ancient palaces and castles they inhabit. Empress Josephine, the wife of Napoleon, once told her daughter how much she hated sleeping in Marie Antoinette's old bedroom at the Tuileries Palace. Quote, "I have dark misgivings," she said. "I feel as if the shadow of the queen is asking me what I am doing in her bed." Other royals are at peace with their ghostly ancestors. In 2017, Queen Sylvia of Sweden cheerfully admitted there are ghosts in Stockholm's UNESCO-listed Drottningholm Palace. Quote, "There are small friends, ghosts," she said. "They're all very friendly, but you sometimes feel that you're not completely alone. It's really exciting." Her sister-in-law, Princess Christina, agreed. "There is much energy in this house. It would be strange if it didn't take the form of guises," she noted. "There are stories about ghosts in all old houses. They have been filled with people over the centuries. The energies remain." While that might be true, that definitely sounds like first world problems, or at least a person that doesn't have enough problems, because what do you mean you're living here rent-free and bothering me in my place of sanctuary? How dare you? Get out of my face, or pay some rent while you walking through walls and whatnot. Even the stoic Queen Elizabeth II supposedly encountered the paranormal more than once. According to British royal expert Hilary Fordwich, quote, "Both the late Princess Margaret and Queen Elizabeth II reported apparitions, witnessing paranormal activity there of late ancestor Queen Elizabeth I. This spirit of the Virgin Queen, said to walk the library at Windsor Castle, was also reportedly seen by Princess Vicky, the eldest daughter of Queen Victoria. Other ghosts spotted at Windsor include the Mad King George III, muttering "what" over and over, and King Henry VIII, moaning and groaning because of his ulcerated leg. Queen Elizabeth II was also said to have felt the presence of the ghost of Queen Victoria's beloved Scottish servant John Brown, who has been seen in his kilt on the Balmoral estate. Quote, "Our dear late Queen always said that there were ghosts, and she said, I never go to the cottage on the lake in Balmoral without the corgis because the corgis sense it before I do. Their hackles go up and they start to growl, so I never go without them. And I never stay the night there," butler Paul Burrell recalled. Queen Victoria would stay the night there with John Brown. Sightings of royal ghosts are a worldwide phenomenon. Aztec Emperor Montezuma II's ghost is said to roam Mexico's national palace. At the beautiful Chateau de Chenonceau in Loire Valley of France, the ghosts of the two women in 16th century King Henry II's life, his wife Catherine de' Medici and Mistress Diane de Poitiers, are spotted only when the moon is full, with Catherine combing the hair of her husband's lover. That is absolutely all in his head, because ain't no way. In Russia, Peter the Great strides purposefully around the Theatre of Hermitage in his heavy boots. In the Tower of London alone, there are enough ghost sightings to fill an apartment complex. The headless Anne Boleyn has been spotted leading a procession of dignitaries to her execution site. Lady Jane Grey and Sir Walter Raleigh also appear, as do the two lost little princes of the Tower, huddled together in white nightgowns holding hands. There is even the ghost apparition of a bear, presumably left over from the days when the Tower housed the royal menagerie. Not surprisingly, tragic queen spirits are favorites for the tellers of ghostly tales. Mary, Queen of Scots, seems to haunt every castle she ever visited. Now see, that would be me. Why make death boring? See the world. You're not constrained. Just fly and see what you want to see. But perhaps the creepiest sighting is at Holyrood House Palace, where Mary witnessed the brutal abduction and murder of her supporter David Rizzio, her Italian private secretary and falsely rumored lover, in 1566. David Rizzio is said to walk its halls, Spooky Scotland reports. To this day, the bloodstain remains on the wooden floor where he was murdered, outside Mary's private quarters. According to palace staff, these floorboards have been replaced several times. However, Rizzio's bloodstains always reappear in the same place. The doomed Catherine Howard, the fifth wife of King Henry VIII, is perhaps one of the most pitiful spooky stories. Accused of cheating on her aged husband in 1541, she was locked in her room at Hampton Court and desperately broke away from her guards to try and gain entrance to the royal chapel where Henry prayed. Quote, "Since then, from time to time, her wild flight down the long gallery had been reenacted," Joan Foreman writes in Haunted Royal Homes. On many occasions, her frantic screams have been heard, as they were when the guards hauled her away. Many later residents in the vast house have heard these sounds, and not a few have actually seen the figure in white, its long hair and loose upon its shoulders as it glides rapidly along the gallery. But no ghostly sighting of a tragic queen caused more of a public kerfuffle than the strange case of Charlotte Moberly and Eleanor Jourdain. On August 10, 1901, the two English women, trailblazing academics at St. Hugh's College at the University of Oxford, were strolling the grounds of Versailles. According to their book, An Adventure, which was originally published under pseudonyms, they were searching for Marie Antoinette's fabled Petit Trianon, where they entered a dreamy haziness. Everything suddenly looked unnatural, therefore unpleasant. Even the trees behind the building seemed to have become flat and lifeless, like a woodwork and tapestry, they write. They saw two old-fashioned men, one menacing and one elegant. He was tall with large dark eyes and had crisp, curling black hair under the same large sombrero hat. He was handsome, and the effect of the hair was to make him look like an old picture. His face was glowing red as through a great exertion, as though he had come a long way. He spoke frantically to them. "You must not go through that," he said. "This way, look for the house." The women walked over a rustic bridge to a small, idyllic cottage. On the lawn was a woman sitting on a camp stool sketching. According to An Adventure, quote, "She saw us, and when we passed close by on her left hand, she turned and looked full at us. It was not a young face, and though rather pretty, it did not attract me. She had on a shady white hat perched on a good deal of fair hair that fluffed around her forehead. Her light summer dress was arranged on her shoulders in her handkerchief fashion. I thought she was a tourist, but that her dress was old-fashioned and rather unusual. I looked straight at her, but some indescribable feeling made me turn away." Moberly and Jourdain, egged on by French friends who claimed Marie Antoinette's ghost was frequently spotted near the Petit Trianon, came to believe the woman sketching was the spirit of the tragic queen. They concluded they had entered some sort of timescape, which was a tableau of Marie Antoinette's famed English village and garden. Endless claims and counterclaims were made, with critics unable to understand why two highly respected, serious women would profess to have seen such a fantastical specter. Cruel leaders also often reportedly met with otherworldly harbingers of doom, although these tales were often dreamed up by their critics. The Hohenzollern kings of Prussia were said to be visited by the White Lady, who often appeared without a head, accompanied by guards right before the death or ruin of the monarch. Then there was the Little Red Man of Destiny, a horrifying gnome dressed in scarlet said to make Faustian bargains with the rulers of France. According to Real Ghosts, Restless Spirits, and Haunted Palaces by Brad Steiger, the Little Red Man first appeared to Catherine de' Medici in the 16th century and was seen before the assassination of King Henry IV in 1610, and in the prisons of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette before their executions. It is said Napoleon made numerous deals with the Little Red Man. He appeared for the final time in January 1814. It is said that Napoleon beseeched the ghost for time to complete the execution of certain proposals, but the prophetic messenger gave him only 3 months to achieve general peace, or all would be over for him, Steiger writes. 3 months after the Red Man's final visit to the emperor, Talleyrand and the Senate called for Napoleon's abdication. Some monarchs were also said to be haunted by those they had harmed, which I kind of feel is fair. Legend has it that Wu Zetian, China's only female emperor from 624 to 705, was haunted by the spirits of 2 women she had murdered, Empress Wang and Consort Xiao. They would come back to her in dreams, bloody and maimed, as if fresh from their execution. Royals who met horrific ends also seem to hang around the places where they were killed. In 1918, the Romanov royal family and their attendants were murdered in the basement of Ipativ House in Yekaterinburg, Russia. The Soviets turned the house into a museum, and a woman named Anna worked there as a security guard at night. According to the website of the Romanov Memorial, Anna told the Archbishop that many times during her years of working there, she could hear beautiful singing and see light streaming from the basement door when night fell. She said that the singing was as of many voices and definitely church music. She would often creep up to the door to listen, but was too frightened to go into the basement to look. Of the current British royal family, it seems the greatest believer of ghosts may be Camilla, Princess Consort. According to her son, Tom Parker Bowles, the Wilshire mansion he grew up in was notoriously haunted. As a child, you would build up a fear of these rooms, he said. It was always cold, even in the middle of summer. There were lots of people who were very rational people who in the middle of the night would jump in their car and drive back to London because something had gotten their bed, and it was a spirit. For Camilla to be so afraid of otherworldly beings and supernatural things, she sure does raise a lot of hell. The irony of one of the biggest menaces to ever enter the royal family being afraid of anything other than her own reflection. The The ghost even made his presence known to the lady of the house. Quote, "My mother says she woke up one night in the middle of the night and there was a presence sort of pinning her down in her bed," Parker Bowles claimed. That was probably her conscience. This was many, many years ago, but she's made of pretty strong stuff, so she probably told the ghost where to go. Camilla, Princess Consort, has also spoken of her fear of Dumfries House, an 18th century Scottish retreat King Charles III had restored and opened to the public. "There was definitely a ghost, without a shadow of a doubt," she recalled. "I walked up the steps, got into the hall, and I thought, I can't go any further. I literally froze. I remember thinking I don't want to come back, and I didn't for years." Interesting. But King Charles has also reportedly had ghostly encounters, once being followed by a ghost at Sandringham. Anmer Hall, the current home of Prince William and Kate Middleton, is reportedly haunted by both a black dog and a murdered Catholic priest. That can't be a good sign. But Prince William seems unfazed, once quipping, "No old hall would be complete without a ghost, would it?" It seems as long as there are monarchies and people with vivid imaginations or sixth sense, tales of royal hauntings will continue to titillate and frighten. It has already been claimed that the ghost of a worried Queen Elizabeth II has been caught in photographs holding her signature Launer handbag in a room at her beloved Windsor Castle. Eventually, the ghosts may outnumber the living at royal palaces across the world, especially with the little slimmed-down monarchy Charles is aiming for. However, I'm not surprised Queen Elizabeth II has been seen worried in the halls, because look at what's going on with her family. She worked her whole life to build up her family and to prolong her institution, and look at what her son did in less than 24 months. It's a hot mess. I'm not surprised she's worried. But let me ask you something. Have you guys ever heard of these ghost stories regarding the royal family? If so, if you have, let me know in the comment section. But if you've heard of any that I haven't mentioned, let me know in the comment section below. And I'm also curious, have you had your own ghostly encounter? Share with me in the comment section or in the live chat. I just wanted to take a super short break to say, if you have not already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you are interested, feel free to participate in the live chat going on now, or feel free to leave a comment if you do not wish to engage in the live chat. Once again, I know I do this all the time. I'm enjoying a channel, I'm enjoying the video, I'm just having a great time, and I completely forget to hit subscribe. So please don't forget to hit subscribe. Don't forget to comment if you wish, and please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button so that the algorithm on YouTube knows that you like my content. Now, let's get back to the show. Some horrors aren't even otherworldly, but mere realizations about the actual reality we truly live in. And this can be its own scary movie tragedy. Much more dark, much more twisted, and much more harrowing than a bump in the night.
My mind suddenly flooded with memories of our relationship. But now I saw that even our finest moments and my best memories somehow involved death. Our lives were built on death, our brightest days shadowed by it. Looking back, I didn't see spots of time, but dances with death. We christened and crowned, graduated and married, passed out and passed over our beloved's bones. Windsor Castle itself was a tomb, the walls filled with ancestors. The Tower of London was held together with the blood of animals, used by the original builders 1,000 years ago to temper the mortar between the bricks. Outsiders called us a cult, but maybe we were a death cult. And wasn't that a little bit more depraved? And I could no longer hear a word they said. I was already gone, already on my way to California, a voice in my head saying, "Enough death, enough. When is someone in this family going to break free and live?"
And while the ghosts of our pasts and some in our present can haunt us, sometimes the presence of someone who's gone before us can bring us peace and even joy.
"Wow, there's something here." She felt an energy around me too, she said. "Your mother is with you." "I know. I felt that of late." She said, "No, she's with you, right now." I felt my neck grow warm. My eyes watered. "Your mother knows you're looking for clarity. Your mother feels your confusion. She knows that you have so many questions." The woman said, "My mother was very proud of me and fully supportive. She knew it wasn't easy." "What wasn't?" "Your mother says you're living the life she couldn't. You're living the life she wanted for you." I swallowed. I wanted to believe. I wanted every word this woman was saying to be true, but I needed proof. "Your mother says the ornament?" "Ornament?" "Your mother says Something about a Christmas ornament of a mother or a grandmother. It fell? Broke? Archie tried to fix it. Your mother says she had a bit of a giggle about that. Still, as with so many partings, I just wish there'd been one more goodbye. Soon after our return, a hummingbird got into the house. Then a mate said, could be a sign, you know. Some cultures see hummingbirds as spirits, he said. Visitors, as it were. Aztecs thought them reincarnated warriors. Spanish explorers called them resurrection birds. I did some reading and learned that not only are hummingbirds visitors, they're voyagers. The lightest birds on the planet. With cupped palms, I set the hummingbird gently on a wall in the sun. Goodbye, my friend. But it just lay there, motionless. No, I thought. No, not that, against all odds and all expectations. That wonderful, magical little creature bestirred itself and did just that.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the SharionSade